Al Roker and Deborah Roberts have long been admired as one of America's most enduring couples. Al, the beloved weather anchor whose warm humor and resilience have made him a household name, and Deborah, the Emmy Award-winning journalist whose reporting has spanned some of the world's most important stories, built an image that seemed unshakable. Together, they embodied stability, love, and a balance between career and family in a world where fame often places unbearable strain on marriages. But now, whispers of betrayal and tension have pierced that polished image. Behind the public smiles and joint appearances, Deborah's recent words suggest a marriage tested by time, health, and the harsh glare of the spotlight. And in those words lies a painful question that has captivated fans. Has Al Roker, the man America trusts each morning, failed the woman who has stood by his side for decades? Al and Deborah's love story has always been seen as one of resilience. They met in the early 1990s, both carving their paths through the competitive world of broadcast journalism. Al was already an established figure on NBC's Today, while Deborah was building her career at ABC News, working on programs like 2020 and Nightline. Unlike many high-profile relationships, theirs wasn't built on glitz or instant attraction. It grew quietly, through shared respect and long conversations. Colleagues would recall how Deborah's sharp intellect balanced Al's wit and humor, creating a dynamic that felt genuine. They married in 1995 and went on to build a family that blended personal devotion with professional success. While Al was waking up the nation with his warmth, Deborah was reporting on wars, political upheavals, and social change. Together, they represented a partnership that wasn't just about love, it was about mutual admiration. To fans, they weren't just another celebrity couple, they were the real deal. But like all marriages, especially those under the spotlight, cracks can appear where the world least expects them. In recent months, reports have surfaced of tension between the two. During what friends described as an unusually candid conversation, Deborah reportedly used the phrase, "He betrayed me." For a woman known for her composure, her careful choice of words, and her professional poise, such a statement was nothing short of seismic. What could betrayal mean in the context of Al and Deborah? Some close to the couple insist it wasn't about infidelity in the traditional sense. Instead, they point to deeper issues, moments where Al may have promised one thing but delivered another. Times when career, health struggles, or personal habits may have overshadowed the commitments he made as a husband. For Deborah, whose life's work has been about truth and accountability, the sense of betrayal may have cut not just into her heart, but into her very principles. And in those words, spoken in frustration, lies the suggestion of a fracture that no polished smile can hide. Chapter 3. A marriage tested by health. To understand the current turbulence, one must revisit the trials they've endured together. Al's health struggles have been public and harrowing. Over the years, he's undergone multiple surgeries, battled weight loss challenges, and most recently faced a frightening hospitalization due to blood clots that spread to his lungs. Through it all, Deborah stood by him. She was at his bedside, updating fans and balancing her own career while ensuring their family stayed strong. In interviews, she often admitted the fear of almost losing him, describing nights of prayer and days of uncertainty. Yet behind that bravery, insiders now suggest lay unspoken resentment. Deborah had put her career and her personal needs on pause again and again to be Al's rock. And while she never voiced regret, friends now whisper that she has quietly wondered whether Al has fully recognized the toll his health crises have taken on her. Could this be the root of her word, betrayal? Not in the sense of disloyalty, but in the sense of broken promises.
the unspoken promise that she wouldn't always have to carry the weight alone. Another strain has always been the clash of their professional lives. While Al thrives in the light-hearted rhythm of morning television, Deborah has often been immersed in darker, heavier realities, war zones, tragedies, and investigations. Friends have noted that Deborah sometimes felt her work was overshadowed by Al's celebrity. While viewers adore him for his charisma and warmth, Deborah's contributions often demanded a quieter, more serious spotlight. Sources claim this imbalance has occasionally created tension. Deborah reportedly confided to a colleague that she sometimes felt like the supporting cast in the narrative of their marriage. For a woman of her accomplishments, such a feeling is no small burden. To the outside world, the couple still presents unity. On social media, they share family milestones, anniversaries, and moments of joy. Their children are often celebrated in posts, and their love story is told as one of endurance. But behind closed doors, the story is less perfect. Friends describe evenings where silence fills the home, moments when Al's humor no longer lifts the mood, and Deborah's sharp observations feel more like indictments than conversations. The cracks have been there for years, one insider suggested, but now Deborah's words show that the cracks are widening into something harder to ignore. When news of Deborah's statement began to circulate, fans were divided. Many defended Al, pointing to his years of resilience and kindness. Others sided with Deborah, noting that her composed and deliberate nature means she would never speak so strongly unless the wound was deep. Social media lit up with messages of support for both, but also concern. Could this beloved marriage be nearing a breaking point? What of Al? True to form, he has remained largely silent. No official statements, no interviews addressing the whispers. Instead, he has continued with his work, greeting America each morning with the same warmth. But those who know him well say the silence masks a man deeply troubled. He's devastated, one close friend revealed. But Al's instinct is always to protect, not to expose. He doesn't want to air their struggles publicly. Yet that very silence, some argue, only fuels the speculation. So where does this leave Al and Deborah? Divorce rumors swirl, though no official word has been given. Experts in relationships often say that when the word betrayal enters the conversation, it marks a turning point that is hard to come back from. Counseling, separation, reconciliation, these are all possibilities. But one truth remains: their marriage will never be the same in the public eye. If Deborah were to step away, it would not only mark the end of a personal partnership, but also shatter one of the most admired images in American media. Together, they have symbolized love that endures through health crises and career pressures. To see that image fractured would be heartbreaking for fans who see their own struggles reflected in the couple's journey. This story is not simply about celebrity drama. It is about the human cost of love tested by time, health, ambition, and sacrifice. It is about what happens when promises, spoken and unspoken, are stretched to their breaking point. Al and Deborah are not just media figures. They are husband and wife, navigating the same complexities that millions of couples face only under the brightest of spotlights. Will Al rise to the moment and rebuild the trust Deborah feels has been broken? Or is this the quiet beginning of the end for one of the most admired marriages in American television? As of now, the truth behind Deborah's painful words remains uncertain, but their impact is undeniable. They remind us that even the strongest partnerships can be shaken by life's storms. Whether this story ends in reconciliation or separation, one thing is clear. Al and Deborah Roberts will forever be remembered not just for their public achievements, but for their very human struggle to balance love, loyalty, and the demands of life lived in the spotlight.